Next up at UFC Vegas 61, we have the main event of the evening. We have Mackenzie Dern taking on Xiaonan Yan. Mackenzie Dern is 12-2 overall. Xiaonan is 15-3 overall. And this is a decent fight with some actual title implications going on here. Mackenzie Dern is an amazing grappler. She's trouble for literally anybody on the ground. Somebody in the comment section yesterday was like, Mackenzie Dern might be the best female grappler. Dude, she might be just the best grappler in the UFC, let alone female grappler. Like, she's an incredible, Brian Hall. She's an incredible grappler. Her striking's not great, but it has improved since her UFC debut, and she's definitely gotten more comfortable in those exchanges. The issue is sometimes she's gotten too comfortable, where she's just going to come forward, throwing tons of punches and not even really looking for takedowns, which she needs to do. The problem, though, is even if she's looking for takedowns, odds are she's not really going to get one because she might have the worst takedown accuracy in the UFC at 9%. I mean, that's just absolute crap, and I know you're expecting me to go on some wild rant screaming and yelling about A, her fake accent is absurd, B, 9% takedown defense or offense is when you're that good on the ground.
I'm so good at jiu-jitsu.
Like, you're that good on the ground and only 9% of the time can you get it there on your own. That's really bad. Anyway, she did prove in her last fight she doesn't need to get the takedowns. In that fight against Tecia Torres, she was threatening submissions without being on the ground. And, Mackenzie Dern, very well-rounded, or at least becoming more well-rounded. She's proven her striking has evolved. But most importantly, she's proven how ridiculously tough that she is. She will just take a beating, continue to come forward. She doesn't look away from punches. And she's really tough, and she hangs in those fights. Xiaonan is a very good boxer with well-timed strikes. She's got really clean technique, but she does not shy away from a dirty fight, and she is willing to bang it out. Outside of her 2 UFC losses, which were to Carla Esparza and Marina Rodriguez, so 2 very good fighters, she's had a pretty dominant run in the UFC. She's beaten Claudia Gadelha, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and Angela Hill. For the most part, she keeps fights standing, and she outstrikes her way to a decision. But we did see her get 5 of her own takedowns against Karolina and 2 against Marina earlier this year. Here's the thing. We all know I hate Mackenzie Dern's wrestling, the fact that she doesn't really have it. I hate it. 9% takedown accuracy is a legitimate embarrassment. Like, she cannot be proud of that statistic. I'll never understand how you can be that good on the ground and have no clue to get it there. But that being said, she has shown genuine striking technique. She's shown that she doesn't even really need the takedown to threaten submissions. And her submission game is so scary that Tecia Torres, for example, all she did was train takedown defense. That's all she did. And that's why she lost that fight. And Xiaonan might be doing the same thing here, just training takedown defense. So the reality is Xiaonan can win this fight by dancing around, throwing jabs, being the better striker. Mackenzie Dern has proven that she doesn't care. She'll take the beating in the face, continue to come forward, continue to look for the win. She's got 5 rounds to try to get it to the ground, 5 rounds to threaten even while on her feet. I think Mackenzie Dern wins this fight. I'm pretty confident in that. But Xiaonan does have a path, right? Just stay on your feet and dance because she'll be the far better striker. What do you think, Jakey boy?
First of all, you have to give credit to Mackenzie Dern because a lot of those just unbelievable jiu-jitsu people, they just say, okay, I'm very good at jiu-jitsu. That's what I'll do, and that's how I'll win fights, where Mackenzie has actually tried to improve stuff that she's not good at. She came in, was not a good striker. Now, as you mentioned, is a capable striker. So you have to credit her for trying to improve her weaknesses. Obviously, the wrestling takedown she has not worked on as much as she probably should have, but the striking has been there, and she's found ways to get fights to the ground. You saw in the Tecia Torres fight, she was got in a clinch position and jumped, pull guard, pushing against the cage, and found the back of Tecia Torres and was able to threaten. So she's able to work around kind of the bad takedowns in that right. The other thing you got to give Mackenzie Dern credit for is she is tough as shit. She is underrated tough. You can hit her 100 times. She's going to keep coming forward and keep throwing strikes. Even if she's not hitting you, she's going to keep coming forward, keep pressing forward. So you got to tip the cap for the toughness as well. But when I look at this fight, Mackenzie Dern being a minus 230 favorite, whatever she is, seems crazy to me. I think this is a absolute pick'em fight because if this fight does not get to the ground, this fight never sees the ground at all, Yan should dominate. I mean, she should absolutely dominate this fight with the striking. And we've seen time and time before, if Mackenzie cannot get fights to the ground. She just cannot get fights to the ground. And I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be looking at, oh, well, Carla Esparza took Yan down, so all Mackenzie has to do is just take her down.
No,
if
that's a bad
Carla
comparison.
Esparza was shooting wrestling single leg takedowns as a wrestler, explosive takedowns, and was a wrestler controlling her on the ground, Mackenzie Dern is not going to shoot takedowns like that. If you watch that Tisha Torres fight, early on, she was trying to take down Tisha Torres. It's literally just running with her head down, like at someone's leg, like trying to like just grab a leg. It's awful. She's not gonna be able to get Yan to the ground unless something weird happens. There's a clinch situation. She pulls guard. With that being said, I know I love picking strikers and mostly striking matchups, which I think this is probably going to be. I rewatched that Tisha Torres fight, and I am just blown away at the pressure, toughness, and tenacity of Mackenzie Dern. And I think when push comes to shove, when somebody needs to win a fight, Angela's mentioned before, she is a world-class athlete and she trains like one, and she will put herself in a position to win this fight. So while I think that Yan has all the tools to win this fight, and I think this is a pick'em fight, and she can definitely win this fight if it stays on the feet, and maybe even survive on the ground, because just because it goes to the ground doesn't mean Mackenzie's going to submit her right away. Girls at this level know how to survive on the ground. But Mackenzie, I think she just finds a way to close that gap, get in a weird clinch situation, and is able to get to either her back or something weird happens, and she's able to find that submission win. So I think it's a pick'em fight. I honestly was going to pick Yan, and she literally was almost going to be my lock of the week. The better striker in a mostly striking matchup. But Mackenzie, unreal toughness, unreal pressure, and just the gap on the ground is just so big versus every single girl she's going to face. I got to go with Mackenzie. I don't love it, though. I got to go with Mackenzie, though.
No, I agree. I think the odds at minus 232 are, you could argue they're a little wide. We're both on Mackenzie's side for very similar reasons, and I think her toughness is really what tipped the cap for real because, like you said, she's going to get lit up on her feet and her takedowns suck. But she doesn't care if she's lit up on her feet. It doesn't affect her. She will continue to come forward, continue to pressure, and Xiaonan has to worry about being taken down every minute of that fight. She has to worry about it. She's going to be afraid. Any clinch, she's going to be afraid. And I think that may mess with her. It messed with Tisha Torres, who's a tried and true vet. Tisha Torres is one of the best women on the planet. It has
when
been
you're
for
in the
a very long
octagon,
time.
you're thinking, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake,
Yes.
don't make a mistake. I mean, that's the wrong way to fight.
And that's not what Mackenzie's thinking because she's not worried about making mistakes. She's like, come forward, get the takedown, hit her, get the takedown, push, hit. What?
And I haven't bet it yet, but that round line being at 2.5 seems insane to me. I think this is easy over 2.5 rounds because she's not going to be able to get the takedowns early. She's going to strike. I think that they're striking for 2, 3, or 4 rounds, and then something they get tired and maybe something happens. But I think it's easy over 2.5.
Yeah, I already bet it. Premium members saw that bet. It's solid money, and I think that's
unless Yan comes out and for some reason tries to rest her early. Well, I don't know why she would, but we've seen people do some stupid stuff in the past. So,
yeah, well, a bunch of people kept wrestling Gerald Mearshart and just kept getting submitted.
People try to wrestle Ryan Hall too. And we've seen that time and time again. We saw Ilya Tapora almost get submitted as well, a number of times.
Very close, yeah. $9,100 to $7,100. Frankly, listen, Mackenzie Dern could get the submission. I don't necessarily know if she will, and if she does, it might be super late. I'm not going to spend the $9,100 and $7,100 for Yan. Even if Yan wins, yes, it's 5 rounds and $7,100 is almost nothing. You don't really score well with a bunch of jabs.
I think that's actually pretty good value. I think that
how much are you going to score with 5 rounds of jabs?
I mean, Mackenzie's going to keep pressing forward, and she's going to throw. I mean, she could land 170 strikes in this matchup versus Mackenzie because Mackenzie's going to keep coming forward, and she's going to be. I mean, she's not moving her head. You know what I mean? She's just coming straight forward on the line, and then she's going to strike. Mackenzie's going to be all busted up. I think even if she's finished late, she could still score, 70, 80 points.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to touch it. I definitely understand what you're saying here. Like, right, if you think this is a closer fight than the odds and you're getting it at $7,100, great value. Personally, Not for me. I'm probably not going to put Mackenzie in there either. There's a couple other more expensive fighters that I think are far more live for a finish.
I mean, Mackenzie, literally in this matchup, you're looking for a Hail Mary. I mean, and that sounds crazy for a 230 favorite, but in my mind, you're looking for a Hail Mary submission. And she's good enough to do it, but Jesus Christ. I mean, that's asking a lot.
I'm with you guys. But anyway, I think the safest bet here is the over on rounds. And if you are a premium member, you saw that. You saw it at WeWantPicks.com. Placed it when those lines dropped. They've already moved. They're going to continue to move because I am very surprised they set it at 2.5. And, frankly, that just thinks that the odds say that Mackenzie Dern wins by submission in under 2.5 rounds, which is crazy. I do not think that's what happens. But
yeah, her submission odds went from +1 something to like -120 like that. Just to win by submission is minus money. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, guys, become a member. WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click become a member. It's $10 a month. It's $10 a month.
And like the stream before you go. Like the stream.
I can't emphasize enough how much you actually get for that $10. It's insane. WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click become a member. And it has an optimizer. There's a DraftKings optimizer. It will build lineups for you. It will have the projected ownership. It will have the projected points scored. You click a few buttons, bing, bang, boom. Here's one lineup. Here's 150 lineups. And don't forget, WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners. Make a deposit, and I'll send you $50 as a thank you. That's the breakdown, guys. Like, comment, do all the things. Thank you so much. Join our free Discord. The Discord is 100% free. If you're a premium member, you have access to the premium channel, so you get alerts to your phones. But the rest of it is free. So join the Discord.
And it's going wild 24 hours a day these days.
I might have to kick some people out because this is getting a little ridiculous. Anyway, it's busy. Tons of great content. Tons of great bets. It's 100%
See you guys. I'll
free.
be live Thursday. Probably.